Hello, my name is Bill Boland. I'm an exercise physiologist, and I have been working with people in pain for the last 25 years. The subject of my talk today is basically sitting and the damage that it does and the increased amount of sitting that we're all doing because we're working from home. And when we work from home, we don't have the best setup, the best desk, the best chair. We may have had a good chair or a good desk at the office. We don't have it any longer. We're grabbing something from one room, bringing it into the other, trying to find a space that we can work comfortably in. And what happens to us is that we wind up sitting far more than we used to. We sit when we watch television, we sit for dinner, we sit reading a book, answering emails, and then at the end of the day, we go to bed. And so for another 6 or 8 hours, we're inactive. It's somewhere between 18 to 20 hours a day we are inactive, leaving us only a few hours for activity. And that activity can be anything. It can be climbing stairs, it can be running, it can be walking, it can be going to the gym. Right? But the problem is the pandemic's closed a lot of these opportunities for us. So instead of being active, we sit more. Sitting is not an active movement. We can make it active, but we don't. So the idea of this talk is to suggest to you that there are lots of things that you can do to combat sitting. Don't just sit there. Do something, anything. Anything can mean moving your arms out. It can mean moving your arms forward, reach for the sky, move sideways in your chair. Move so that you can get things moving. What happens when you sit? Nothing good. We were designed to run. We were designed to move. Even getting in the car, getting out of the car, going in, walking around the store, that's movement. The body likes that. The body likes that variety. Right? We don't do enough of it because you're not going to go to the store every day. And with the pandemic, we've cut a lot of that out. So a lot of the little activities that we used to use, park at the end of the parking lot and walk into Costco. We don't do that anymore. Right? Just walking around Costco is, an exercise. What happens when we don't move, when we sit, right? 3 basic things. Muscles go first, right? Your core muscles go first, your stomach, all right? What holds us up. Nothing starts to work, right? We're bent over like this, and we become hooked into that position. The muscles begin to quiet down. They begin to atrophy. We have 3 spines, all right? We have a cervical spine, we have a thoracic spine, and we have a lumbar spine. Each one of them plays a role. Each one of them moves. And when we sit and we don't pay attention to where the curves are, then this happens. The abdominal muscles go first. Then, because they're weak, the hips take over and they become tight. So instead of hips moving, the hips get locked in so that we can't even lift. And then squishy butt muscles. In med speak, it's gluteus maximus. All right? The biggest muscle in the body. All right? And one of the most important muscles for your walking, one of the most important muscles for your getting up and getting down. And what happens to them? You know that answer. You're sitting on them. They become a cushion. And they go to squish. They just become squishy. So that when you want to stand up, you have to use your hands to stand up. Using your arms to stand up means that you're putting your body weight, not in my legs, which can handle it, but in my arms and shoulders, which can't. So when you see people getting out of a chair and they have to use their arms to get out, it tells you that they've been sitting a lot and that their quads and their glutes have gone to pot. Don't let that happen to you. After the muscles do their job of degenerating, blood circulation slows down dramatically after 45 minutes. I have a hard time getting people out of a car after 45 minutes of driving. Think about what happens to you with 45 minutes of sitting in that chair. It wasn't comfortable in the first place. You could be sitting on a ball, you could be sitting on a chair, you could be sitting on a ladder, a step ladder, makes no difference, all right? Sitting does bad things for your circulation because it's inactivity. Osteoporosis, osteoarthritis. Blood tends to pool. It tends to stop circulating after 35, 45 minutes. Wow. Most of us sit for 35 or 45 minutes. You can change that. There are little habits that you can change to get yourself out of that so you can get the blood circulating again. If the blood's working, your bones are going to work. All right? Blood has a tremendous impact on your bones. It has an enormous impact on your spine, your discs, everything that works along. I chose this picture not because it's someone my age, but someone who's a third my age. And look. All right? It's already begun. She's doing what we call text neck. And it's just like this. Okay? Instead of bringing the phone up here, okay, they go down to it here. And guess what? We all do that. Everybody does it. Now, she's young, so it's not going to be permanent unless she stays this way. But remember, she's got 8 years of primary school, she's got 4 years of high school, and maybe she's got 4 years or 6 years of college. So this is going to continue until somebody says to her, sit up straight. And when you sit like this, the discs get squashed. They get dried out on one side, they get cracked on the other. Not a good thing. This is not the way we sit. These are the things that we can do every day. This is very simple. You can alternate between the sitting and standing with the movable desk. My wife uses one. So she works up and down. She can move things from one piece to another, and it makes a difference in her day. Standing all day isn't any better than sitting all day. Our bodies are not meant to do that stuff. Our bodies are meant for variety, and the body loves variety, anything, all right? If you don't have a sitting and standing or a flexible desk, all right, every 30 minutes, get up. Don't make it complicated. It's simple. Get up. And when you get up, walk around. Walk around. Roll your shoulders. All right? Move your hands. Reach for the sky. Get the blood working. Lift your legs. Lift your feet. Move. Doesn't take much. Every TV commercial, whatever you're watching, there's always a commercial. Get up. Walk around. All right? Go to the refrigerator. Take an apple. All right, take a glass of water, do what you need to do, come back. Mom was right, as always. Sit up straight, don't slouch. Put your feet flat on the floor. And when you sit, sit on your sitting bones. Once you do that, your hips are steady. Your hips aren't forward, your hips aren't back. They're neutral, right where they're supposed to be. Let your hips be higher than your knees. Why? Because that releases these big hip flexors. So it's not this. It's this. These guys are higher than your knees. If you've got just a standard chair, sit on a book. Take one of the cushions off the couch, sit on it. You want to be a little higher. If you do that, you're going to reduce the impact that these tight hip flexor muscles have on your pelvis, pulling you forward. Don't put your feet behind you. Don't put them under the chair. What you want to do is put your feet flat on the floor. All right? Try and keep it at a 90-degree angle. Just relax your shoulders. We tend to do this. Just like that young girl, all right, was bent over looking at her phone, we tend to do the same thing looking at the computer. Get back here. This guy is in line with this guy. This guy is in line with this guy. All right, this one down here and down here. There's 5 points. It's a vertical axis. That's what we're supposed to be in line with. You can do it. Move your shoulder blades towards your spine. That's where they belong. Chest relaxed, shoulders down, shoulder blades this way, not this way. Bring the computer to you. All right? You can't look down. All right? You've got to be straight ahead. Work here. All right? Keep your elbows close in. If you're going to use your phone, bring it up here. You do not want to go to the phone. Bring the phone to you. Always. When we walk, we think in terms of keeping our chin level with the earth, with the floor. We don't walk like this. We walk like this. Same thing when you're sitting at the desk. Think in terms of your chin level with the desk all the time. If you do that and you stay on your sitting bones, you're good to go. You've got half the battle fought. Then all you have to remember is, I got to get up. I got to move. You actually can learn how to sit properly. You actually can learn how to use the chair to your best advantage. It can beat you, or you can beat it. It's an active choice. If you just sort of say, there's nothing I can do, I just got to sit here because I got to work and I got to do this, okay, you've lost. But if you sit there and say, okay, let me figure out some of this stuff. What Bill said about raising the computer, I can do that. All right? I can change my chair. All right? I don't have to spend a lot of money. I can't afford the up and down desk, but I'll figure out a way to do it so that I'm looking at the screen, all right? And I'm typing without hunching. All right? It's the same sort of thing. So you're making sure that your feet are on the floor. You're making sure that your hips are higher than your knees. You're making sure that your shoulders are chill. All right? And that you're not leaning forward. All right? That you're not rounding over. You're not giving your back a C curve that you're going to regret in a number of years. So when you get up, you want to learn how to get up straight. All right? So that you don't get up holding on to the chair. All right? You just stand up. All right? And you walk. And you walk heel toe wherever you're going. All right? You pay attention. You move. You let your hands move. And you move with them. If you can, use your non-sitting time to learn some of the exercises that I'm going to show you today. There are only 5 of them today. There's hundreds. I'm not the only person who has these, what I call corrective exercises or living exercises. But there are many. And if you'll just do a few of these, they will all strengthen your body. They will allow you to do the things that you want to do. They're all standing exercises. You can spend as much time as you want in one, or spend 3 minutes in each one and knock them all out in 15 minutes. They will make a difference in your life if you do them every day. You're going to sit every day. Why not do something that is an antidote to sitting every day? The first exercise in this working from home series is called standing arm circles. When you begin, stand with your feet parallel and then bring them out wider than shoulder width apart. That's the starting position. The reason for that is to stabilize your hips so you're not sliding this way or that way. So your feet are wider than hip width apart to start. They're not splayed out like Donald Duck. They are straight ahead and parallel, just like that. Next step, put your hands in a golfer's grip or hitchhiker's grip in front of you. Palms are closed. Raise your arms up to shoulder height. If it's difficult for you to get them to shoulder height, you can keep them right here, just at waist level. Take your hands and fingers and thumbs and rotate back. When you did that, you'll notice that your shoulder blades go together, they go down, and they go together towards your spine. When that happens, begin making circles. Following your thumbs are going behind you. Your palms are facing the ceiling. You can bring them up or you can bring them down. Your goal is to make circles about the size of a dinner plate. And you just make the circles. You do 10, 20, 30, 40, as many as you want. 30 is a very good number to shoot for. Right? If you're tired, lower them down. Don't bring them here. This is worthless. Right? Keep them here and just circle around. When you've done the number that you think you can do 1 or 2 more. But then stop, rest. You shake your hands out, roll your hands, do whatever you want. You have 1 more set to do the opposite direction. You did those backwards. Now you're going to go forward because shoulders work forward and back. Start again. Hitchhiker's grip, golfer's grip. Bring it up. Rotate them back. Notice that the shoulder blades are locked now. They close together. All right, they're down and closed. Now here's the trick. Turn your thumbs forward. So now instead of your palms facing up, your palms are facing down. Follow your thumbs. That's the direction. These are murder. These hurt. These are not easy. Going backwards is easy relative to this because this is pulling your head back. This is getting all of the trapezius muscles, all the muscles of the shoulder, upper back, and neck, bringing your head back to the position that it's supposed to be in. Please don't be surprised. It takes everybody a long time to get there. If you do 10, that's fine. Again, if you have a hard time getting up here and keeping them up here, bring them down. What you want to do is make sure that they do not go in front of you, that you never see more than your thumbnail as peripheral vision. They're always back here. And that's the first exercise. When we sit, these guys, the hip flexors, and these fellows even higher up, become very, very tight because we sit in this position for hours. So we want to make sure that the hips can move, that the legs can come out the way they're supposed to move. And the best way to do that is to lengthen the hip flexors. This exercise, the second in the series, is called standing hip flexor stretch. This exercise starts, all right, with a foot flat on a chair, a bench, a 2-step ladder. I lean forward. And while doing that, I move the back leg, the long leg, back. Not too far, 6 inches maybe, and then I stand up straight. The lean back, the stretch you will feel is right here. That's your hip flexor stretching, right here at the crease. All right, it's all stretching through here. Go only as far as you can. You hang out there for a few seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, as long as you want. Then you change. You go to the other leg, same drill. Lean forward, move the leg back. I move it back just about a foot and come back up. This side is much, much tighter. All right, and I want to do this. I want to bring the leg with me, the bent leg with me. Don't. Keep it here. If this is all you can do, this is all you can do today. And you would go back a little more. Your goal is to get straight. You can add a little special to this if you want. And you can work and stretch the lats that run along here by doing this. Is it a balance exercise? Probably. But you're stretching your lats. And since the lats are connected to the hip flexors, not a bad thing at all. That's number 2. This is the third exercise in the Working from Home series. It's a standing quadriceps exercise. So all you're going to do is stand there, and you're going to grab your ankle with one hand, and you're going to hold on to the chair with the other. And you just keep stretching it. A good start is 30 seconds. These are big, strong muscles. Whatever you can do, you do. You don't jeopardize your balance. That's why you hold on here, you hold on to the wall, you hold on to the back of a chair. Do it that way. When you're finished, you let go. And you do the second side. If you did the left, you're going to do the right. For most of us who are right-handed, this is going to be a tight one. The left is usually looser. Initially, the left knee is going to be in front of the right knee. Your idea, your goal, is to bring it back. Not doing this. This is worthless. Because all you've done is just moved it from here to here. So what you want to do is maintain that same vertical axis that you've got here, but by bringing it back. So that the knees are in line. Hold it for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. If you can bring it so that your heel touches your butt, that's fine. Not necessary, but it's good. Nice stretch. These are big muscles, so if you can give them a minute or more, so much the better. When you finish the exercise, take a walk. Just walk around. Think about landing on your heel and pushing off on your forefoot. You want to be able to use the muscles of the thigh, the calf, heel, toe, That gives you your push-off, that gives you your strength, and stops you from hip walking. We don't walk with our hips. We walk with our legs. In order for the legs to work, they've got to come out of the hip. They can't come out of the hip unless the hip flexors and the hamstrings are loose enough that it allows them to step forward. The next exercise in the series, number 4, is basically a simple standing hamstring stretch. I made it a little more complicated by asking you to do it with one leg in front of the other. And although some of you may be able to do this exercise without an aid, without the chair, without balance, so you come down here and you stretch, and you stretch. The back leg is getting a stretch. The front leg is just providing stability. So the back hamstring, you just stretch the quadricep. So now you're stretching its pairing muscle, its matching muscle, its antagonist, if you would. All right? And you come down to here, and you just hang out. Let your head drop. Breathe. Think about balance. Get a nice stretch. When you're finished, come up. Change. You may be lightheaded because your head was down. All right? That's why the chair is here. All right? You want to walk around? Walk around. All right? But please understand that being lightheaded is not a big deal. Just be aware of it. You've now got more oxygen than you had before because you just opened up some really big transport muscles. And the muscles transport blood. Blood transports the oxygen. So if you have the right foot in front of the left and we're stretching the left leg, reverse it. So now the left goes in front. Right? The right is behind, and the right you're going to stretch. And you go down, same way you did before. You bend forward with a flat back. You go as far as you can. If this is all you can do, great. You can hang on here. That's not a problem. This will get looser. But initially, you may not be able to go and do what all the ballerinas do. Touch the toes and do this. It's not important. Your objective is not to touch your toes. Your objective is to stretch the hamstring. So you go down here, you hang on. Nice stretch. There you go. You've got your stretch. Hang out here for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever you feel comfortable doing. And then when you're ready, you come back up. Chair is there for balance. You stand and you walk around and you enjoy. You do not want to stretch beyond what you can stretch. You will tear something. So you just do a hamstring stretch. Because now what you've done is you've relaxed the big quad muscles, and you've also relaxed the big hamstring guys. So now what you can do is walk, and walk comfortably. The last exercise in this 5 exercise working from home series is standing glute squeezes, butt squeezes. When we sit, the glutes just go squishy. We don't use them. We don't use them enough. And we can't use them when we're sitting. They're just a cushion. So what we're going to do is say, all right, we're not sitting now, we're standing, and we're going to strengthen them. So I'm just going to show what it looks like, all right, from this point here. These are glutes. These are your butt muscles. They run from just below your waist down to the top of your thigh. I would suggest you start with your feet wide like Donald Duck. And you begin to squeeze. The hands are here only so you can feel them working. You should feel the muscle working from under your top of your palm, which is the gluteus medius, all the way down to the bottom, the gluteus maximus. And you squeeze and you release. You squeeze and you release. You squeeze and you release. Just on a count. 1, release. 2, release. If you do 10, that's fine. You do 25, it's better. Then, after you've done that, try with your feet parallel. Alright, straight ahead, 6 to 8 inches apart. See if that's easier or harder. For many people, it's harder because the hamstrings are involved and they can stop the glutes from working as well as they should. But some people have no problem either way. Whether your feet are out, like Donald Duck, or your feet are parallel. Makes no difference. Whichever's easiest for you to do. See if you can build up, all right, to 3 or 4 sets of 20, 25 butt squeezes. It will make an enormous difference in the way that you lift. These are the big boys. These are the ones, they don't lift you up. This lifts you up. This is stabilizing you. If this isn't strong, you can't do this. These guys are strong, and they should be kept strong. They get weaker when we sit. So this is a good and simple, easy way to strengthen your glutes. And that's it. Thank you. I've been doing this a long time, and the question I ask people, where does it hurt? And if you're working from home, as we are now, the chances are it's going to be your shoulders, your neck, your hips, some low back pain. Won't get to your feet right away, but it will if this continues. If you need help, call. I'm as close as your phone. If you do the work, it will make a major, major change in your life. Thank you.